All right, this is another episode of the Expresslane Podcast with
Kevin Stan. We got a special one today. This is a guy that when we started talking about the podcast, I was like, I got the perfect guy. And we got Anthony Handsome Ray with us today.
Hi, everybody.
Say what's up. And we talked about it, and like our thought process for doing the podcast was, let's just get together, tell some stories, interesting people, get their stories. You're one of the most interesting people I've ever met. I really mean that. And the fact, like, you were in Chicago, you were in LA, you came back, we had a wedding last night, which is a great time.
Yeah, great reason
shout out to Dave and Gina. It was an awesome
Dave
wedding.
and Jean, congrats, guys.
And so while you were home, was like, yo, you gotta make the time. We gotta do this. So we did it. Here we are.
How cool is it that you have a podcast?
I think it's pretty cool. Like, we were kind of talking about it last night a little bit, how like you're doing the acting, and a lot of the guys from the hockey team how are artists or musicians. Mm-hmm. It's like I was like yearning for your creative outlet, and this is what I came up with. Well, what Stan came up with, and I said, yeah, I'm going to do that with you. Fine.
Stan, you beautiful genius.
Well, it was the first time meeting Tony. That's what you like to go by.
Well, Tony, Ray.
So, okay, and now last name Ray, and this is something that I wanted to get out for a while, and I was waiting for on podcast.
Me too, yeah.
So, it's R-A-I is how your last name is spelled.
Yeah.
And I've known you as Ray, like to the point where people are like, oh, you're Tony's friend? I was like, who the fuck's Tony?
Right.
I was like, I know Ray.
Who's that person?
Your Instagram handle is pastrami on R-A-I, Rye.
Yeah.
So, is your last name pronounced Rye or Ray?
It's a crisis in identity, really. All right, so here's what happened. Here's the story. So my grandfather came here.
A little bit. That's it right there.
It's my first podcast, everybody. So my grandfather came here to the United States, and he said, and the way it used to work is you pronounce your name to them, and they write it down. So the way the name is pronounced is, let's see here. It's like Rai. Right?
Okay.
And so it means shepherd. And the guy they tried to start writing it down or spelling it, and he's like, what? Say it again? And he's like, Rai. And he's like, oh, Rai, R-A-I. So he wrote
okay.
R-A-I. Now, my grandfather's brother came here and said R-A-I-E.
So your grandfather and his brother have like two different
I think that's
names.
Where it came from.
Huh, okay.
So that it would sound like Rai, right? So then, but I grew up pronouncing it Ray because my grandfather, when he got here, he took the R-A-I and he just started saying Ray to make it sound more American. And my dad pronounced it Ray. And, you know, when you get here and you're an immigrant, it's like, it's tough.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, people are making fun. You want to blend in. So that's where Ray came from. And I grew up as Tony Ray. That was my name. My name is Tony Ray. And everyone would call me, oh, Tony Ray. Cool, that's my name. Great. And then in school, it was Anthony when I started in Catholic school. And it was Anthony all the time. And then Anthony Ray. And then I wanted to get like true to my roots. So I started pronouncing it Rye again, trying to be real. So as soon as I start pronouncing it Rye,
all your friends abandoned you and like you're a liar. We can't deal with that anymore. You're Ray for life.
I lose everything.
Yeah.
I'm smoking cigarettes, outside of a 7-Eleven. There's a nasty puddle next to me. I'm next to a dumpster. It's like, why did I do this? So anyway, so that's where it was during this period that pastrami on Rye arose out of a group of friends. And I just thought it was clever, so I went with it. That's what's happening in my name world right now.
No, that's fine. I just, knowing you as Ray and then seeing the Instagram handles, like, there's no way that it's pastrami on Ray. That makes zero sense.
It doesn't. I know. I need to change my Instagram 3 weeks ago.
So now that I know, that's the person liking all of our stuff. Yeah. So that's good to know.
Hey,
oh, that's me.
Yeah,
man. I'm all about the support. You guys are doing something cool and here's the thing. You just started doing it, and it's like, you just have to start doing the thing. And then look what happened. I just started doing the thing. It was scary as shit. I always knew that I wanted to be an actor my entire life. Since I was a little kid in the basement, putting on shows, I always knew. But I thought, who am I to think I could be an actor? And like,
But who is anybody
some
to tell
kid-
you can't?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Nobody
maybe somewhere along the line, I don't know. I just didn't believe. I didn't believe in myself. And, to think that you could be someone like in a movie or on TV and you're a kid, it just feels so far away. But the truth is, like, nothing is far away. It's just like the first couple of baby steps, and then you get some momentum, and that's what you guys did. And now we're going to look back in 5 years.
We have
you
a
guys
big
are
time
gonna
actor.
You're going to have a big time actor and a big time podcast, and we're going to revisit this thing, and it's going to be fucking cool. Because like we're gonna be like, what are we doing here? Remember that episode? Let's run the footage right now. It's cool. Couple guys from Northeast Philadelphia. Who would have thought?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't know, when I first, you could definitely be an actor. I mean, when I first met, I was like, damn, this guy is fucking handsome.
This is a handsome Ray.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Fucking jawline's crazy.
All you need is a good
Dude,
jawline and to
yeah.
be handsome, and you can be an actor.
And see now you're
Well, and
you're
also,
being humble.
Yeah.
Because
Knowing you for 5 seconds, I can already see, like, you're very actor-like.
well,
Thanks.
you've put in a lot of work to maintain the person that you are. Like we were going camping. We're out there in the middle of nowhere by Gettysburg, and like, yo, Ray, do you have your Invisalign in right now? And you're just like, yeah, man, can't sleep on it. I was like, wow, shit, like okay, like if I'm camping, like there's no chance I'm trying to throw a retainer in. Like I'm out there getting drunk in the
you keep
woods.
that mustache with you at all times, so
Yes, you do.
you're obviously not trying to do anything else.
Obviously,
No, you got your priorities right.
yeah. I can't grow a beard, so I'm keeping the mustache.
It looks good.
That is a word.
So
to
he is
use.
an actor. He's lying right to your face.
Was it believable?
I believed you.
Oh, that's funny.
So this path of being an actor, when did you figure out that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it?
Man,
How many jobs? How many?
I went down this whole path. I had this whole different life. I never, excuse me, it's just an emotional story. Okay. I just I went to school for business because my dad had a small business, and he's like, yeah, man, just go for business. And I just did a little bit of criminal justice because I thought I want to be a cop. And then doing criminal justice, like CJ 101 was, I realized there was this old sort of scruffy cop that like retired, got out of the game, and now he was teaching kids, that are going to be the future of law enforcement. And he's like, I'm pretty sure this is what he said, or this was my takeaway. He's like, basically, your best day is always going to be someone else's worst day every time you interact with them. And I'm sure Brittany can relate because in the hospital, she's like also on the front lines.
Same situation, yeah.
And it's tough. And in that situation,
Well,
she
not
has
exactly the same, but the same kind of.
It is because
Same kind of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
same
word.
same dynamic. It's a really tough time in your life. If the cops are showing up or you're in the hospital, something's wrong, right? It's like not a good time.
Not a good day for you usually.
Yeah. And so I was like, I don't want that. I don't want my every single day. Like it doesn't ever get better. It's always going to be bad or worse. And
But-
you can make an impact.
And plus, if you have a million great interactions with somebody and then one bad one, you're only ever known for the bad interaction. So
Right.
it kind of
Like a customer review, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people are something like 7 to 10 times, maybe even more. It's something ridiculous. More likely to leave a review if they've had a bad experience than if they've had a good one.
And a bad experience is somebody shooting you in the chest because you pulled them over. So you have 1,000 pullovers,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
People aren't so bad. That one day, you're like, this guy doesn't look too bad, and that's your day.
That's your day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. So I was like, that and I can't smoke weed. I don't know.
I'm out of here.
Kind of. So then I just went into business anyway, and I did that whole thing, man. Business school, and I graduated, and my dad was like, I need you to come home, man, use all these fresh college skills and help me with this job. He had just booked like a good sized job, the biggest job he'd ever booked. He's like, does building and remodeling, AM Ray Building and Remodeling.
There you go.
And, but here, funny story, side note, even he's doing like that. Sometimes he's saying AM Rye.
Huh?
So like none of us really know what to do here. Gramps, you left us too early.
I guess it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right.
Get somebody from the old world. You're like, no, it's rye.
Yeah, we could do business together.
Yeah. No. Oh, did I mention rye? Is the So I came home and I was like back in construction and I'm like, Dad, let's do this thing, man. Let's turn it into something big. I got all these fresh marketing skills. I could do spreadsheets like a mofo, like let's rock and roll. And he's like, pump the brakes, man. I don't think so. And so we clashed heads. It's like your typical, like, we need to grow and expand. And he's like, it's my business. I built this, chump, you know? And I'm like, fuck you. You don't know. You're old. You're in the past, you know, like you're a dinosaur. And he's like, you think you know it all because you went to college. It was like the most typical, like stereotypical shit. And I was like, I'm going to go into corporate America. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but like corporate America just seemed like such a, like, that's the thing to do, man. That's where you go. Let me get a corporate job. So I started in a call center. That's where I met Pete, and that's the reason why I'm an inebriator.
Okay. Right. And so, like, that's where I pick up on in your story is, like, you started playing hockey with the inebriators, and I joined the team, and I'm playing. And, well, first, I was playing against you guys.
That's right.
And Ray, he's a big, strong guy, athletic, very athletic.
Thanks.
And didn't wear a cage or a visor or something. Was one of only a few guys. No, he would just go out and let it ride. Yeah,
the visor
rolling the dice.
Yeah, I had a used helmet, and the visor was so effed up, and I wore it for like 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and then I saw some guy not wear one, and I was like, "We don't have to wear these," and they were like, "No, if you don't want to, but like your face is gonna get fucked up."
So it was like me at the time. It was like me, you, and like 3 other people in the whole league that were rocking no cage or visor or anything.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And you were one of the other ones. Oh, Kevin. That's right.
You are one of the only people in the league that ever wore a mouth guard. So he's like always taking care of the smile.
You know, it's so ironic because it's a constant fight for me to not have shitty teeth. I'm telling you. It's like constant. All right.
But the mouth guard he wears is like a UFC one where it's like fangs and like the teeth on the front of it. Yeah. And he would come, like the puck would go into the corner and here's like Crazy Man 55 on the other team. I have no idea what your name is. And he's just a beeline, a straight, like going for it. And you have this like grimace on your face where your teeth, like your mouth guard teeth are like bared and it's like a snarly face. I'm like, oh, fuck. Going near that guy, like take the puck. I'm not coming anywhere close to you, dude. And like we were talking about, like, yeah,
it worked,
dude. Playing against the inebriators, like they're fun, but dude, that 55, the dude with the snarl, and like that's how we knew you for like 2 years before we actually met. It was like, yeah, the snarl. It was like, and everybody that I played with was like, oh, fuck that guy, like he's crazy.
That's funny. That's really cool. I thought it was, and that's like the coolest nickname you can be given.
And so lo and behold, you get to join the team, meet you, and you're like the nicest person on the team. Like, oh shit, like you're just that focused on playing hockey that like the intensity comes out. But outside of that, you're like a little teddy bear.
Oh, thanks. We're a teddy bear of a team.
Yeah, pretty much everybody on the team is like a nice person.
Yeah.
And when you get on the rink, we're all kind of assholes.
Yeah, that's when the inner douche comes out of all of us.
Well, and it was when I first started playing. Team, I can't even remember the team that we were playing against, but the guy was talking to him and he goes, I like you guys, but I have to hate you for an hour every week.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like,
And it was like a guy that we had history with.
Oh yeah, it was like we played it. It's like someone you play against all the time, and you like you're out in the parking lot, you have a beer, and you're chit chatting. You're like,
that's right.
Man, why? Like, he's not an asshole. And then you go out and play, and you're like, fuck that guy, man.
Yeah.
And like talking to him about it one time, he's like, oh yeah, dude, it's like there's no ill will. It's just I have to hate you while we're playing against you. Other than that, like we can be cool
and like totally respectable.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? I have to hate you too. And come here, give me a hug for that one.
I fucking hate you, man.
Yeah, there's something bonding about like competition, you know?
Yeah.
This kid I wrestled against, I mean, it was such a big rivalry. Like it was huge. I mean, it was like LaSalle versus North Catholic. And like at 152, this guy's dropping down. And
not Eddie Alvarez. You get a quick shout out.
Yeah, Alvarez. Alvarez also wrestled for North Catholic, graduated 2 years ahead of me. And it was very much like Alvarez and Murphy that were like the leaders. And then they passed it down to Dempsey, and then Dempsey passed it down to us. And that's how greatness gets passed down. But we're shut down now. Anyway.
Yeah, that school doesn't exist.
Yeah, Alvarez will probably come on your show at some point.
Yeah.
I can speak for him. We're really close. Like we text each other all the time.
They went to high school for 2 years together. Yeah.
Not even. No. I'm pretty sure. No, I did not like Alvarez. I didn't go to North Catholic until my sophomore year. And I started wrestling my sophomore year. Okay. So I started wrestling right away. But Alvarez was the freshman year guys knew him because he was a senior when they were freshmen. Guys in my class, but I wasn't at North yet, and I wasn't wrestling yet. But he had just graduated, so he was coming back to the mat room and rolling around. Okay. And we had similar. I think we wrestled the same weight. So I was the new 52 pounder, and we we worked out a couple of times, and he was like around, because he had just graduated, and then he went on to do all of that cool shit.
Was
and
he
like we're all in his corner, obviously.
Was he noticeable? Like this guy's fucking good. Like this guy.
Yeah. He was
stuck out.
He was just like, you're not gonna beat him. Yeah. Like, But Savage did say that my double leg takedown was quite reminiscent of Alvarez's double leg takedown because it was fast. My goal was to drop my feet so fast that they would leave the ground and my body would be dropping to the ground. Like as fast as gravity will let me drop is how quick I want to drop. And so that was my shit. I always just focused on the first drop. And once I got that down, everything else was lightning. You weren't going to stop me.
It is quick. I've been on the receiving end of the double leg takedown. So
that's right. Yeah. That's funny.
Funny, so we were out camping and you had...
I love those camping trips.
I guess it was about 7 weeks before the camping trip broke in your ankle.
Yeah.
And we go camping. You're out there on crutches in the boot, kind of like almost there at the end of it, but still, booting it around.
Yeah.
And I get plastered, hammered, drunk, like
quite
like hammered. And I want to wrestle Ray, and I want to wrestle you specifically because I know you're booted and I have a chance. So I am just egging you on for the whole night, just like little needle here, little needle there, and then it got to a point of everybody else on the team is like, yo dude, like chill out, like stop. And I was like, nah, I mean he won't anyway, like he's a pussy, like he won't do it. And just so like good. To the point where it's like, fuck you, like now I have to. So we started wrestling and it got to like some point where like I was trying to get you in like a guillotine kind of thing and you had like taken me down and you're on top, and then at one point you're falling over backwards over the boot of that is like your foot that's in the boot. Oh, that's
right. It was back.
And I'm like, all right, enough. Like, you win. I shouldn't have started this. Like, this is entirely my fault. And like, we'll get out of it. Luckily, you didn't get any extra hurt.
Yeah, no, I didn't at all.
And yeah, I know. Because I did. I was the one on the bottom the whole time.
Yeah. It's all about the hips, guys. It's all about the hips.
Always a bottom?
Usually. That next week, playing hockey, and I'm leaving the hockey game, not with the inebriators, with a different team, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and 10 o'clock, and I was like, man, I shouldn't have goaded Ray into wrestling me. Like, that was not cool. Like, he had a broken ankle. Like, it wasn't the right thing to do. I was a total dick. So I was like, let me call him to apologize. And I call you and be like, hey man, really sorry about that whole thing. Like, it didn't mean to do that. Like, it's totally my fault, and you were right to kick my ass for it, but I'm still sorry. And I was like, I shouldn't have made you wrestle me. And you, which I didn't realize how drunk you were, go, well, did I take you down? I was like, this fuck doesn't even remember that we wrestled.
So a drunk, broken ankled Ray still kicked your ass?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, what, did I?
Yeah, you absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
we
took
had
me down,
a-
like, and I was trying whatever I could, but I don't have any wrestling background at all. I was just like, let me wrestle this guy.
And he was really drunk. And, you know, fundamentals are fundamentals. And I had been crutching around because that was in August.
Yeah.
And I broke my ankle in July.
Yeah, like the beginning of July.
The beginning of July. And I had been crutching from Fairmount to Center City, back and forth to work on my good leg and my arms. So my good shit was so strong. He, like, as long as I had a handle on him and he wasn't away from me, I think I had a shot. That's what happened.
And that was camping the one time, but yeah.
Yeah, man, our camping trips.
Usually it's me, but off the rails.
Yeah, but also like really, really good, like the kind of times that add a year to your life. Just like such good feelings and such good like times. Like, were you there for the baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we played
all of them.
Baseball, like real American baseball next to a cornfield.
Yeah, just like hitting balls into the cornfield going, well, that's
Like,
lost. Like,
having enough people to play a real game, and then we switched over to a wiffle ball game. Like, honestly, just like some of the best times in my life. Like, just such
great.
good times.
And then,
like a
like,
brotherhood. Amazing.
get done playing games, like you want to go walk through the forest and find a dead tree to cut down? Like, yeah,
Yep.
like,
Let's go do that. Yep. Hold on, let me get another beer first.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, it's great. So, worked my way up in this call center.
Okay, yeah, we're getting back, and that's what I was trying to get to when I had first met you. There was a 2 or 3 year period of, I don't know what the fuck Ray does. Like, I know he's here, and you're driving an Acura at the time. Like, you nice car. You always came
Really
in with
nice
like
car.
the night, like you're a put together guy. So you came in with like nice
All
clothes,
nice things.
like good shoes, and I'm like, what does he do? And it was just like business was the only answer I could get from people. I was like, but what does he do?
Yeah. So I worked my way from the call center over to the customer service team, client services at Language Services Associates. And I don't know why I'm plugging them, but it was LSA. They're here in Horsham.
Yeah.
Were they a good company to work for?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah. Cool people.
Yeah.
And client services, and one of the main consumers of interpreting services is the hospital and healthcare segment. Really, anywhere that a limited English proficient person is going to interact with the world, or government, or medical, or anything, insurance, electric. If they don't speak English, they still have to do business. And those companies want to be able to do business with them because they want them to pay their bills, or they want to take care of them. They want to provide the service for them. You need an interpreter, and so that's what they did. And the client services team helped hospitals. Like, we trained nurses, like at Einstein and like Jefferson and all these places around here. We gave them interpreting telephones with 2 handles. And so anyway, I was doing client services, and then like, I'm an ambitious guy. And so in the job, I'm just like figuring out how to do the job better myself all the time. And then the manager ended up like leaving for another opportunity. And I was like, hey, I have a college degree. I have a plan for what needs to be done. Like, give me his job. I won't take any other job, or I'm going to leave too. And they were like, cool, you got it. We need someone. You can handle it. Great. Do it. So I started doing that, and worked my way, running point on that, and started sort of by accident upselling and cross-selling, because I was working really closely with these new clients, these new hospital and healthcare clients. I'm working with one specific point of contact, and we're figuring out, and they have a job to do they have a directive to make their hospital better at working with limited English proficient patients. So we're working together, and I'm like, well, what are you doing for your deaf patients? We have video interpreting over here. Oh, video. Let's call Chuck right now, the IT guy, and see how that would work. So we're adding on services. We're helping people, and the salespeople are like, oh, I love Anthony. This guy's great, man. This was supposed to be a $25,000 account, and now it's a $75,000 account.
The hustle never stops.
The hustle never stops. And so I was like, these should be my customers. This is my sale. This is bullshit. I was doing consultative selling without realizing it. And so I started working, networking and getting to know the national sales manager. And like one day I walked in and I was like, hey, there was an opening. And I happened to have my resume printed out. Always keep an extra copy of your resume, I guess. And I just on a whim, I walked
resume,
in.
Then.
Yeah, you should. And I just walked in, and I was like, "Hey, I hear you got this position open." And he's like, "Oh, you want to throw your hat in the ring?" Jerry Latirzo, real Italian. You want to throw your hat in the ring? Yes, I do. Well, you got a resume? Yes, I do. Boom. I just happened to have the resume, but it seemed so smooth and prepared and planned, like a go-getter. And he's like reading it. Oh, you were an ocean lifeguard? Look at that. No shit. Wildwood? Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. The next day, he gets back to me. Look, we're going to do a hybrid role. I'm going to give you accounts that you can upsell and cross-sell, but I still need you to manage what you're doing. And I'm like, cool. So I started doing that. And then worked my way over into I achieved what I was supposed to, and then like a year later, I was a business development manager. I was promoted as a business development manager, and closed a couple big accounts, 2 big accounts in Chicago through relationships. You want to sell to someone, you can't. You can only help people. That's all.
Now these relationships that you made with these people in Chicago, was that the onus of, because when you finally decided to be like, I'm going to be an actor, you didn't go straight to LA. No. There was a year almost in Chicago. So was it because of these contacts you had made working there, or was it just like Chicago sounds cool?
So no, but this is full circle, because during that time, we were also bringing new hospitals on board. We were teaching them how to use the services. We were going in, we were training them. It's like setting up. I worked with this girl named Julie, and Julie was very pop Anthony. Oh, she was very bubbly. She was like, she could light up a room, just like, yeah, and excited, ready to go. She was cool. She was really cool. I liked her a lot. We were driving from hospital to hospital training, like doing this training. And so you're spending so much time together. And so we were talking about all types of shit. We're bullshitting. And It's Always Sunny had come out, I guess a couple years before, but I hadn't watched that much. I had only seen a few episodes. And she's telling me about this one episode. And I hadn't seen it, but I knew enough of the characters, and I was starting to get into it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this show's good. I like this. And
see, Stan, you just watch it.
It's good. I've watched it. I'm just not caught up on it.
Yeah, I've watched it.
I'm not caught up either.
That's what he keeps saying. He's seen like 2 episodes.
Watch a million clips.
Yeah.
No, episodes,
Kid
not
Mins.
clips.
Kid Mins, bro.
Kid Mins. It's classic.
Yeah. So.
Sorry for Kev interrupting you.
Yeah, sorry. I got to get shots in when I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, do we need to address this more? Is he gonna?
No, I mean, I continually say, watch Always Sunny. He goes, I
will.
will.
I'll watch it.
And you don't, because there's other stuff you want to watch.
There's a lot of stuff to do.
Right. There's so much to do.
It's Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day.
Hang out with the wife.
And he's got to watch a Tim Burton movie for the 13th time instead.
Yeah.
Jason and Michael all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. No, I'm down for a little break. Not an actual break. So she goes, she's telling me, and I'm like, oh, let me guess. Dennis was like this, and then Charlie was like that, and then that happened, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can figure this whole episode out. And she's like, well, that's like kind of what happened. Oh my God. And you sound just like them. And that was really funny. And have you ever done improv? And I was like, no, I don't even know what that is. And she was like, improv. Like she's describing, and I'm like, it's so funny because like there's long form improv and there's short form improv. And Whose Line Is It Anyway is short form. It's little games, but it's really funny. Mm-hmm. And I remember going like, whatever those guys are doing, I like it. Like they're doing something because this is really funny. It's in the moment. Like it's not even scripted. Like that's amazing. So I was, she planted the seed and she's like, oh, you'd be so good at improv. And I'm like, and honestly, dude, it was like someone believed in me. Like someone was like, you would be good at this. And she meant it. And I was like, wow, maybe I should give myself permission to try it, to give it a shot. So I didn't do anything.
Thanks, Julie.
I didn't do anything for like a year. And then one day, I don't remember what it was, but I just remember thinking, if I don't just jump into this thing, like the wave's going to pass, I'm never going to do it. And I'm never going to know what would have been. So I signed up. I had the money. I just got paid and I just signed up for it. And I went in the first class. I was like, this is my home. Like, this is where I belong. This is my fucking jam.
This is still in Philadelphia.
Okay,
yeah.
in Philly.
This is like my DNA. Like, it was like, oh, I could live here. I could sleep here. I don't care.
He was all about improv for a while. He still might even be, but.
Well, it sounds like he was doing improv his whole life. He just didn't know it.
Pretty much.
Kind of.
And that's where it goes when we meet and playing hockey, and he goes, Kev, you should come to improv with me. Like, I think you had like you were like trying to recruit all of us to like join your improv troupe.
Fucking right.
I imagine it's way easier doing it with people that like get you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like the improv partner duo teams, they can be pretty epic, and they're together for years and years and years, and they know each other so well. Like they can just do a 2-person scene for an hour, and every second is interesting. And it's because like there are these, so there's short form and then there's long form. Long form is my jam. It's who are we to each other? What's our relationship here? We're figuring this out. What's happening right now? Why is it important? And then when we start to discover it, because it just appears for you, like in your mind, it just fills in. Like our minds fill so much shit in because of our like sort of our guessing machines in our minds. And if you just open yourself up to the guessing machine and you don't hesitate, you follow your foot, you follow your instincts, you let it out, this beautiful shit starts to happen. And now all of a sudden we know who we are to each other. Like you're my younger brother and I'm a professional baseball player and you want to be just like me, but whatever. And then you talk and then you endow me with something. And it's like the relationship and it's so real and in the moment. So I started getting into this. And then I thought, if I can take what I'm doing here with improv, because I feel very grounded and present and here and in the moment. If I can take this and I can do that with like script with someone else's words, I just might have something here. I just might be able to do it and I might be able to do it well. And so that's the journey I've been on since then.
Now, do you think you're going to get caught in any like cults or anything, Scientology? Because I feel like this is like leading us in now.
Do you know why?
You should come with me.
But I feel like
Stan, I think you should. I think you should listen to that little voice in your head right now that's really telling you to just come on over, to follow the light. There's nothing to be afraid of. No,
I don't think you're saying no to, like, if Scientology comes to you and is like, hey man, you want like
you
free picture with Tom Cruise, like all you got to do. Like,
wait, did you say a free picture of Tom Cruise?
It's like you want like a 3-picture
deal.
Oh, a 3-picture. Yeah. Okay, deal with Tom Cruise.
We're like, all you got to do, Scientology. We're like, all right.
Look, I'm open.
I'd say, look, you guys don't have the best rap right now. I think. I mean, how about putting some of that money into PR? Also,
I think that's what they're doing when they're trying to shut down all these, people talking shit on them.
Yeah, and that's the wrong way to go about it. Well, you got to change hearts and minds.
Like they already knew, like they beat the IRS. Nobody beats the IRS. Like they've taken their power and they've put it towards a goal. So they should probably just put it towards not making people tell on them for doing bad shit.
Yeah, but you don't know how long that train's going to last. I mean, an administration could come in and go, you know what? Fuck this. Let's launch an investigation. Is this really, it's time to renew everything. Let's make sure that you're still a religious institution.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon with the government.
No, probably not.
1.4 billion just got taken by the Catholic Church, so to settle lawsuits. So I don't think
1.4 billion.
Yeah.
From them, they paid.
Yeah, they took it for the corona relief stuff.
Oh, from them.
Yeah, they took it for
cash.
Well, probably numbers on a computer, but yeah,
fake money.
Yeah, fake money.
I mean, is any of it real?
Is anything real?
Paper just represents the value.
Yeah.
But we all use it and believe in it, and you know that guy across the street's going to take it like it's just as real to you, like it's just as real to him, and that's why it counts as something.
So one day you're in Venezuela and it's worth nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it all goes to shit, and you better hope that you have your silver and your flour.
And your brass.
And your brass. Yeah. Well, this got dark.
Sorry, that's usually me. Sorry, you're taking it to a beautiful place of grounding and finding your lot in life, and then I bring it to.
But it's dude, it's like honestly. So in Uta Hagen's book, A Challenge for the Actor, in the beginning, she's basically like, look, you cannot do this because you want to be famous or because you want to be recognized or you want to be special. Because chances are you won't be any of those things. You're basically joining the life of a priesthood or a nun or a monastery. This is your body is becoming a vessel through which you can send messages, convey. And what you choose to convey is important. And it's not about,
starting to get a little culty, it sounds like.
It's not. This is just acting. This is just the craft of acting.
Well,
this is just the craft of acting.
All those things you mentioned, like you're already bringing those to the table. So
yeah.
Look, you've got these prerequisites.
Do I sound like a Scientologist?
No,
I'm not a Scientologist.
You sound like a true believer of something, of acting.
I'm a true believer of the
craft.
Just the truths that I've come to realize in life that are guiding me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what.
And I found these truths in L. Ron.
In the writings.
Is that the name?
L.
Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Scientologist. I'm not a Scientologist.
Like my buddies always bust my balls for liking Waterworld and Battlefield Earth. I like those movies.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Waterworld is tough, dude.
I haven't seen. I don't know that I've seen it.
You've never seen Waterworld?
I don't think so.
Oh, don't waste your time. Don't.
Really? Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah, it's good, dude.
Yeah, it's good. He's a fish man. There's no land.
Dancing with wolves.
That could be a play, huh?
Dancing with wolves, yeah. Dances with wolves.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Cats,
good, I
except for
thought.
wolves.
He won an Oscar for that.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Had me rooting for the Indians.
It's not Waterworld.
Yeah. Right. No, it's a different movie. Different script.
Close. It's just instead of on the plains,
Indians, I'm sure.
On the ocean.
That's probably how it was pitched. It's Dances with Wolves, but it's on boats.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that the...
Yeah.
That is not... No. What are you talking about?
Sounds like yes.
And then he does it again in The Postman, where it's like post-apocalyptic, and everything's fucked, and he's trying to find a town to live in, and he's just a postman, and he restarts the post office. It's a pretty good movie, too. I like that one.
That's
that
cool.
one I've never seen.
It was good.
I like that. It's symbolic.
Yeah. And I think the bad guy had one eye in both movies or something like that. Something crazy. He just like did the same thing. Just, all right, guys, now we're doing this.
Why not, right? If it works.
Well,
if the
I don't think it
mechanism
worked
works.
according to the box office, but I liked them.
I mean, the box office and reviews are very different things. What people go to do.
Well, there you go, talking about real and what's not real.
And now
reviews
with like Rotten Tomatoes and like IMDb, all this stuff, you get the reviews of the people that go see it, and then you get the reviews of the critics who are like, this movie sucks, but it's like everybody that's walking out of the theater is like, yo, that ruled. I love that. Yeah. And it's like, but it's pandered as like a terrible movie. But
everything gets corrupted, I guess. It's just a matter of time.
Everything gets corrupted. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, man, for sure.
just to
Nature?
just to couch that, Stan is.
I think it is part of nature.
Like
to
a forest?
corrupt things, yeah.
I mean,
If you put the wrong thing in there, it takes over, right?
yeah.
See,
The
but
wrong element.
Yeah.
Stan is very much for the pessimistic side of things, so you see
I
when
appreciate that.
when the wrong side of things is happening. Whereas I feel like a lot of times I'm oblivious to these things until they come up, and I'm like, oh, like,
Until they affect your life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess that is a pretty good way to put
But
it.
do you think that in some ways you choose, like you've created a filter as a coping mechanism, perhaps, where you just
Yeah, probably.
you choose what to let in and what to not let in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty oblivious to most things.
Yeah, you generally seem like a pretty happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it
it doesn't seem like much gets you down.
Why
and
waste
like,
your time?
I'm
with,
walking
like,
around.
Sometimes he gets them.
Does it?
Yeah, I've seen him
Yeah.
flustered.
Well, like yesterday morning, Stan bailed on this podcast. I was all pissed off.
I think we do need to talk about that.
I'm sorry, guys. I had work. I had to work on my day off.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But
It
how
was
was work?
shitty.
How was?
I was pissed off for like 15 minutes because it was just
Well,
like.
you tell your story. You were running the Peloton. That's not my fault
Yeah.
that you were mad at the Peloton.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm trying to do a
This is a good
workout.
story.
Use that
And then-
rage to cycle better.
Well, yeah, I was trying, but then I'm trying. Like, I got the Apple Watch is what I'm texting you back on to be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
That's my fault.
No, see, I'm not saying it's your
Oh,
fault,
alright.
but I was pissed off at you. But so yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to text back on the watch. That's not working. I can't figure out how to pause the workout. So now I'm like just not working out. It's going forward, and I got to go get my phone, but I'm not taking these stupid bike shoes off. So I like click clack my way up the stairs through the house to go get my phone, like trying not to slip and fall.
On
Like-
his pretty hardwood floors and his Peloton shoes.
Yes. Fucking
Were you wearing biking stuff too?
No, just like shorts.
He has a full biking outfit that he wears.
He's got the.
Let's just picture you in that because
yeah,
I
got
like
the
it.
spandex with the camel toe going.
Yeah, and you're walking.
But so I'm click clacking to go get my phone, come back. Like now 10 minutes of this workout has gone by. There's no way to rewind it. So I have to just restart the whole thing. So I'm annoyed at that. Trying to text you to be like, hey man, it's not working out. It doesn't come. It's not going to come. And then,
I'm freaking out, Kev. This is unprofessional.
yeah,
You piece of shit.
exactly. And then I'm sitting here blaming Stan.
No, I didn't do that.
But it lasted for about 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
When is the last time you were that stressed?
Like stressed?
Because that's a stress response that you were feeling. That's why you were your affect.
I'd say more anger. I've seen him. He doesn't really get stressed. He lets everything build up, and then he just gets angry at the last thing, like the straw, the last straw.
Like, I'll let something little explode, and then you just get it out. That's why one of the reasons I do like the job is I'll just sit drive around in the truck screaming at everybody because nobody all they just see is this truck driver screaming. They can't hear me, but I get it all out and you're just like, all right, I can get it away. But yeah, maybe Monday morning someone will cut me off and I'll be like, fucking Stan, motherfucker, piece of shit.
I need my own equipment. So I don't need that fucker.
Exactly. I'm gonna have my own equipment. I'm still gonna send it all to you to edit it.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, this is is this your first real marital podcast, Tiff?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
I guess
know.
so.
It's
Yeah?
not like
Well, that's really nice,
I don't think it's
guys.
really even like a thing.
It's not a.
Look what you
no,
brought
it's
out
not
of
a-
us.
I know,
right?
you know me, man.
Fucking
Love the
ass.
drama.
Well, you do love there's so much. We've said it
Blessing
as
and a curse.
guys from the hockey team, to live a day in the life of Anthony Ray would be something to experience because you just live your life without trying to do any of these things, but then things happen and the escalation of what's happening is so quick and dynamic that it's just it starts from, oh, I'm walking to work. Now it's noon and I'm 7 beers deep with these people I went to high school with and I still have to get to work somehow. It's just the escalation of I was doing this thing and now this craziness happened in a 2-step span is how, and it happened. I don't know. I haven't seen you in a couple of years now, but it used to happen on a pretty regular basis of here comes Ray with this new crazy story of what happened over Saturday night.
Yeah. Man, That all sounds really exciting.
It's one of the reasons I liked hanging out with you. Be like, oh, Ray's gonna have some good kind of story. I know it.
Yeah, there was, I guess we were doing we were going to AC for a while. Me and my cousin, we were going and doing like weekends in AC, or AC was the place to go. I remember that summer. Oh yeah. So
I'll tell you the one specific story that I remember that was and you can cut me off and be like, nah, I don't want to share this story.
Okay.
But it was after a Sixers game.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that one.
Okay.
We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, go into that because that was one that was just like, what?
Okay. So, I had started this pretty cool new job, and I was working for a tech company, predictive analytics, applied to account-based marketing in B2B business. And
I'm going to pause because I think there's a little bit of backstory here. Even you were, I guess, technically homeless. Is it that same time where and then you won a year of free office space at a building downtown, and you were like living in this business office?
That was after I called off my wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought this was around the same time.
No, this was about a year later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a Joey Diaz story.
There was a lot of change there was a lot of change that happened when I called off my wedding because, so then there was the Improv and then...
I was going to say, let's go. It sounds like this ties into... All right, so you're going to Chicago for work. You're working for this company.
Chicago, no.
I'm still in Philly. No, Chicago hasn't happened yet.
It was business accounts in Chicago.
Okay.
He wasn't going to.
Okay. Yeah, I had customers in Chicago.
Right,
and
so
I have family in Chicago. I have an aunt, 2 cousins, and, like an uncle. And my cousin has 3 beautiful kids. They're like the most gorgeous. Okay, let's keep going.
No, this is a family podcast.
Keep me honest. Keep us on track.
So you're working. The chick plants the seed. You don't do anything for a year. Where's that tie into this story?
Okay,
I think
so.
We're going
No. This is pretty good. So I start doing improv, and then I meet this girl. I don't know if I should say her name or not. I meet this girl.
Your ex-fiance.
My ex-fiance, and then basically she's like, "Oh, you do construction?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I went to college." And she's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, like, I'm really impressive. My family's very impressive." She doesn't say this, but this is like how it all goes down. So like, and this isn't a real thing. This is just this is fun, and I'm leaving anyway. So we'll just do that. And I'm like, perfect, great. She leaves, but we don't end it. We don't break up. We work it. And then thus begins a whole series of on and off. You're good enough. You're not good enough. You're good enough. You're not good enough. From both of us, I think, giving that to each other a little bit in our own ways. And that was the motivation for me to, I think, like move over into the corporate America, start working my way up, and then start crushing it and making real money. Like by real money, I mean whatever.
House, car.
Like no, like I was making like maybe $90,000 a year, and like living in the city and could pay for a nice car, and so, that was the path. It was like. I don't have time for childish games like improv, and so I stopped doing improv. I stopped going to my acting class. I stopped everything, and I was just all about being as successful as I could be. And then it was like, you knew that the plan was for us to get engaged by this certain time. And, you're not going to do it. I knew that you wouldn't. It was just like, anyway, everything culminated into all of this pressure. And then I got engaged. I proposed. I did the thing. And instead of a 1-year engagement or 2-year engagement, it turned into 6 months. Like 2 days after the engagement, And it was just like, it was a whirlwind. It was a train. Doors were locked. It was taken off. Like, boom. And so that was my world. That was my life. And yeah, it was a very fancy and impressive time in my life. You know, like nice things and nice places and nice trips and corporate and polished and money. And like, she had really, really extraordinary people in her life, like her friends, like some like really, really good humans that I love. And so that grounded her, you know, and they grounded her. But ultimately, I saw this path and I was going down the corporate, you know, East Coast money sort of success focus. And it was affecting who I was, for sure. And I didn't realize
hit that
it.
fork in the road.
Hit the fork in the road.
Most people get locked in with that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, marriage. Then you're going to probably have a couple kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're locked in. Then you're going to shoot yourself at 50.
Yeah. Kind of.
You chose the other path.
I chose the other path.
Congratulations. That's pretty cool.
It was hard.
Oh, yeah.
No, I very much believe it was hard, but of the timing of things, you chose the perfect time because you went. We did a camping trip, which was like Ray's bachelor party, go camping.
Yeah.
And then like the next week was your like wedding party, bachelor party out in Denver. You guys like flew out there, took a whole trip, did the thing, and then you came back, and it was your wedding was in 2 weeks, and you're like, I don't want to do this. Like you took both bachelor parties, and we're like, no.
Well, I mean, look, if you're going to make a hard decision, you might as well try to make it a little bit easier.
Well, you know, it was like...
And I'm not saying you did that on purpose. Just looking back at it, I was like, the timing was
we
pretty...
had planned
pretty
all
good.
of these fun activities, and it didn't mean that I had to miss out. No. No, I honestly was like mulling it over like throughout all of this. Like even at the bachelor party in Denver. Epic. Like epic, dude. Whitewater rafting category, the highest ones. Skiing and snowboarding, double black diamond. I swear to God, like concert at Red Rocks. We go to this bar outside. We go to this bar, like this rooftop bar right outside of Coors Field, and it's ladies' night. We're the only guys, and I'm like, it was amazing. It was amazing, man. It was like, it was stupid how well everything like came together. But even then, I was like, this isn't my world. Like it was because I was with all of my homies, but it was like this path I'm going down. This is not my path. And I'm concerned about my mental health in the future because if I'm living this thing that I never really wanted, I don't feel like I know that I'm going to find my satisfaction in golf, in drinking, probably in whoring at some point because I got the money and I'm going elsewhere. And I'm like, you know, and then my kids end up hating me, you know, and I'm like this like piece of shit guy that's like actually has a good heart and like had the best intentions, just took the wrong path. Like how long does that happen? Or how often does that happen?
All the time, yeah.
Most of the time, I'd say.
Writing was on the wall. And so, yeah. And, you know, people were generally supportive. They were like, hey, man, huge kudos because we were all kind of wondering if that was the best move for you.
It's just the balls that it takes to...
Didn't want to say anything at the time because if you were going to live that life, I was going to be there for you. But
yeah, right. Yeah.
That's cool because I bet that really was a fucking hard decision.
Dude, I felt like I was jumping out of an airplane without a parachute to certain death. I mean, it was like my life is over. My world, because my world was so her world, our world, so much, man.
The criticism
and
the
then
hatred you're gonna face, like fuck.
We lived together, like I moved all of my shit out, and this is where like the homeless thing. So
that's
comes in.
where you like. Not, I guess I don't know if you had somewhere to stay, but you won this raffle for like office space that had like it was a pretty sick office that like the kitchen and a bar in it. Like
the universe provides.
And there's like you won a free year of office space,
free beer, free coffee, free office space, glass office space at WeWork.
How did you win that?
Trying to help
How
out.
do you win?
Trying to help out my friend.
I think it was just a raffle. Wasn't it?
Trying to help out like my homie Schlegel.
Yeah.
So Ryan Schlegel on our hockey team runs a really, really awesome marketing company, and he was just starting it up. And he was like, yeah, man, like, let's network and stuff. And so I don't know if I told him about it or he told me about it, but it was Philly Tech Week. And I was like, there are all of these events. Like, let's go, man. You got this new marketing thing. Let's start networking. Let's go do it. And he's like, cool, right on. So we made it happen. And one of the networking events was at this WeWork, brand new WeWork. It wasn't a WeWork. It was their competitor. And it was on Market Street. And so me and Schlegel went and we put our names in, just like a raffle. And we're networking. And I don't win shit. But Schlegel wins.
Oh, okay.
Office space for a year, like at an office, like you can put your logo up, the whole thing. And this place was brand new. And Schlegel's like, I'm not going to use that, dude. I got my home office. I'm not going to be taking the train into the city just so I can like do some graphic work, you know? He's like, you take it. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And so I took that shit and, that was my space. That was my spot. I had a place to go to in Center City, right on Market Street, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. Oh, also, after I called off the wedding, there was a whole lot of stuff changing at the company I was working at the time. Literally new ownership. They went from public back to private equity. They were cleaning house, new CEO. It was like a whole thing. Like the board was like, cleaning house. The mid-level executives or maybe lower level executives were like freaking out. My boss got fired. I got shifted over to another team. And then I told my boss that I called my new boss that I called off my wedding and that, you know, I'm probably going to like take a couple of days to figure shit out. This mofo fires me the day, like 2 days before Christmas.
Jeez.
He's like, oh, you know, and he just like, you need a fall guy. You need to go like, well, these are my people that weren't, you know. Also, somehow I ended up being the person that was working with a sales consultant that was brought into the company to turn shit around because there were a lot of problems. There was zero communication between sales and marketing. They were literally competing with each other because they had these two different branches of basically the same product. They're going after the same customers, like undercutting each other. Customers don't know what the fuck is going on. It was like a whole thing. And I'm like, Karen, I see it all, baby. Let's talk about it. And she's like, you are right. And I have the CEO's ear. He brought her in. So it was like also like I was definitely a threat for sure, or could be perceived as a threat or by this guy. So
meanwhile, he was you 20 years later or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
He was what you're going to be.
What I was no longer, what I was just about to start becoming.
That was the path that he took that path that you said, I'm not doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there I am, jobless. Semi-homeless.
Which is great for the resume of an actor. I feel like
I
all
guess.
the good ones are homeless
at some point, right? Even if it's after they make it.
Yeah. Well, probably want to do it in the beginning instead of at the end, but
yeah, you want to avoid that step. And I was back at my parents' house, and my mom's mental health was not very good. It was bad, and so there was just, and I had been so consumed in my new world, you know, that world, and not that that's a bad thing, you know, but my priorities were not straight. And so I get back to my parents' house and the shape that my mom is in, and it's just like, Tone, what did you do, man? You just walked away from this like very comfortable, like generally fulfilling world with like good friends, good people like in your life. Like I had spent so much time with these people. We'd vacation together, you know, and they're like good humans. And like, and the dog we got this, like, I bought her this beautiful puppy, Polly Pickles. It was like, man, you walked away from all of it. And now like,
kind of dog,
here
Frenchie.
You are. Yeah. Yeah.
Nailed that one.
Blue Brindle.
Yep.
Blue Brindle. Yeah. From Missouri. about 42, 40 cash.
Yep.
Dude, what are you doing? So I walked away from
They're
all
cool
of it.
little dogs. For a little dog.
Yeah, I loved him so much.
Polly Pickles.
Polly Pickles.
Damn. We might call this episode Polly Pickles.
Polly Pickles.
It's a good one. And so there I was, man. And it was just like, yeah, it was a low point. And I hear my mom talking to herself, and I'm in the basement. It's like a split level type thing. And it's like, and the basement hasn't been cleaned and it's dark and it's like, there are boxes. My dad filled it up with shit, and it used to be clean and nice, but like, I haven't been back here, like keeping this area in check. And it's just like, no one's vacuumed the steps. And I'm just sitting there I just fucking cried. It was just like such a tough, low point. Like, did I do why did I do this to myself? And then, that's like, sometimes you go so deep down a path. It's like, of course, the path out of it's going to be really, really, it's going to be tough, but you learn that you're stronger than you think. And you can look back on that. And then the next time something tough comes up, you're like, oh, well, I made it through that. I can make it through this. And then you do. You make it through that. And then you keep looking back and you keep making it through bigger and bigger things until, less and less things can get you down, slow you down. Because it's not, you can let them stop you, but it's like, sometimes we just get thrown off of the path a little bit. And then it takes us time. We're like, why did we wait so long? Why did I wait so long to get back to the path? So any dreamers out there, just like, get on the path right away. Like these two.
Don't do what we do, but similar, maybe.
Yeah.
Dream. Do that.
But
So
I think that's a great, just to tear apart his, like, so you could say it as like, oh, this guy's crazy. He called off his engagement, blah, blah, blah. Like, man, that's nuts. It's like, you dismantled your whole life and started fresh again, which was at the bottom. Like, you took away, like, you started up from the bottom, as Drake would say, right?
yeah. Now you're here.
Yeah. That was the bottom,
So,
definitely.
But so
that's the bottom. Yeah, I hope that's the bottom.
You got through it, all that tough time, and now you're up to this summer where we started talking about this. Just the escalation of a day in the life of Anthony Ray is starting to happen, and we were trying to get into like you. I think you were with your cousin or your friend or something, but you go to the Sixers game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I recover a little bit from that low point.
Yeah, you're definitely on the back up. Like, this was a time where it's like, okay, Ray he's like, we don't, as a team, it's like, all right, we don't have to worry about Ray. It was like, he's doing good.
And this is
like,
why I love you guys, man, because like they really care, like everyone really cares about each other. Honestly, it's like
every friend I've met of his is like genuinely like a cool person.
Yeah.
Where are you collecting all these cool people at?
Yeah.
Do I have to start playing hockey to meet cool people?
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah.
But so,
we're right here, Stan. You don't need to go anywhere else.
I'll do the podcast and I'll meet the cool people.
Yeah.
But as a collective, we all kind of take this like, Ray is like.
He's not in like a suicide watch.
Yeah, it's not even like suicide watch, but it wasn't a like, what's going on? Like, is he living with his parents? And like, I think you were like fighting with your dad a bunch because you were working with him. Yeah. So there was just like this kind of like negative energy that was kind of engulfing you. And as
big cloud. As
a team, we're like, what can we do to like help this dissipate? So that's like. You're kind of through the darkest part of all of this, and now it's like, okay, Ray is doing fine. Like,
I didn't have.
And we could see you're happy, and you're taking the acting classes, and you're good.
Mm-hmm. And so, huge shout out to one of your former guests, Justin Galante, who opened his home up to me and was like, "Hey, man,
I wouldn't bring a handsome devil like you into my home."
His girl wasn't there at the time.
All right.
And that helped me get out of the cloud a little bit. He took me under his wing and like even just hanging at the bar with him and his people, like embraced me and like became a family. And I needed that because like my family unit was like, at the time, it was just a tough time. It's just like a tough time, with my mom, and with my sister has her own shit going on. And so I made it through, and I'm in the city. Now I have this office in the city, and I have a room in Glenside at this, it's a beautiful home. He maintains a beautiful home, and things are starting to look up a little bit. I'm walking through my old neighborhood because like that's what I know. It's so I just found myself back in that area because I didn't know what else to do with myself, and I had the office, so I was in the office, and I see this girl that in a cafe. I walk by and I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, the cloud is still there.
Yeah,
the cloud is still there.
You're back on the Joe Cool
Sad.
presence of
I'm
Anthony
sad.
Ray.
Yeah, real morose. They just real like, like, man, fuck. And I see her, and so I walk past, and I'm like, no, you know what? Let me just say hello. But I'm embarrassed because I think I smell like cigarettes, and I'm like, my breath probably smells. I've probably been drinking. It's like nothing good is. I'm not in the best place right now. And so anyway, I go in, and she's like, hey, aren't you supposed to be like getting married? Like now? And I'm like, yeah, I called it off. So anyway, we start hanging out a little bit, and we hit it off. We kind of start dating, and then her neighbor across the across the hall, we'd make friends with like the couple across the hall. Really cool people, and he's a programmer, and he's like all about his making moves and stuff. Really cool guy. He gets me a job. Basically, he gets me an interview at the predictive analytics company, and then I get that job, and that's where we are with. Okay, Ray is starting to like look like he's not he's starting to get out of it, and now we're up to date. I don't remember why we came here.
No, I'm saying and then it's the Sixers story. You go to a Sixers game, you leave the game.
Yeah. So I'm at this company, and everyone's like, many of they're like millennials that are all like dickheads, and they don't like that I was brought in as like a big shot. Like, we're on the 37th floor. The CEO's glass wall is right behind me. I have like the best seat in the house, short of the CEO. We both look to our left and see City Hall. He gives me the major thumbs up after he interviews me. He's like, Anthony, this is our guy. I like this guy. All the millennials, the younger millennials, like, they didn't like this. They saw like, they all worked their way up from their own call center, and they see me just coming in. So all of this to say, I was like holding on to some frustration. Like, I felt like people were treating me like I was a little bitch. And I'm like, Tone, you're not a little bitch. So why is this happening? And so anyway, I believe that may have been the reason why this happened.
And that's fair enough.
We're at the Sixers game.
Story.
We're at the Sixers game. Company tickets, everybody's there. I'm with my brother-in-law and his friend Pat, both really big guys, right? Like, no one would ever fuck with these guys. Not that like, I'm like, hey, look at my friends. Like, they're like, hey, that was a great game. I'm going to roll out. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go get another beer because I live in the city. I'm taking the train from the stadiums anyway. I'm going to go get another beer and hang out at Xfinity. So I'm just hanging out. I'm pretty drunk. And your side eye. And these guys walk by. And they're like neighborhood dudes from Philly. Like, probably like neighborhood dudes from Fishtown. And they're like walking out. Oh yeah, man. Oh, I would have fucked that dude up so bad. Oh, what little bitch. You like, it's just being like just that guy. And man, I just want to fight somebody so bad. And I'm like, oh, these fucking dudes. these fucking guys, they think they're like tough guys, and now they're beating their chests like they just won. You didn't do shit. You're acting like a tough guy, you fucking dirtball. And I go, I'll fight you. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you want to fight somebody? I mean, I'll fight you if you want. He's like, all right, yeah, let's go. All right, yeah, let's go. I'm like, okay. And then I'm thinking, Tone, why? But I'm like, okay, yeah, let's. It's been a while. It had been a while since I've been in like a fight. And so he's like, all right, let's walk away, like down the path. That's like the path when you're going out back past the stage, and then you go out like kind of towards the stadiums. It's like there's that big outdoor patio outside with the stage. Mm-hmm. So we walk further down the path, and people are starting to watch like, oh, these guys are about to actually fight. This is going to happen. So like people are now walking. It's like high school. People are walking with us. We're walking down, and I'm thinking like, all right, so like focus on the fundamentals, and then like worst case, ground and pound, finish this thing quick. So, so we start squaring up, and immediately I see something out of the corner of my eye. Boom, pops me right here. I have the scar, and I hear shattering. I hear the glass shattering, and it dazes me. I kind of stumble back, and I have to take a knee. Because I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm about to get rolled on. So I shake it off, and I square up with this dude, and we're boxing a little bit, and I catch one or two, because I'm going jab game. I'm not going big hands. I'm going just like screw the cap, screw the cap. Right in. I'm getting nice ones too, and it's like bothering him. Then his friends are coming up and hitting me in the head, kicking me in the back. So I'm grabbing them. So like I get the one guy's leg, take him to the ground, and as soon as I'm on him, the other two are on me. So this like cycle repeats a couple times. But I'm getting them, and once I get my hands on them, like this happens in every fight. I don't want to hurt you, but then one of your friends does something stupid and tries to hurt me. And now I'm going to fuck you up. Now I'm going to hurt you or your friend. I want to hurt you now. So I was getting some good stuff in, but I'm getting tired. No one's helping me. There's no security. It seems like this thing is going on and on. I'm starting to throw kicks. I'm basically channeling Alvarez. I'm throwing like Alvarez kicks, you know. I'm like basically trying to channel any MMA stuff I know at this point. At one point I'm on my back and they're trying to get me, but I'm protecting myself, but my shoes are ripped up. I got blood coming down. I'm pretty effed up. My shirt's all ripped up. So we kind of get back on our feet, and then his friends are like, there's a separation between his friends. Are like, yo, we got to get the fuck out of here, dude. The cops are definitely going to be here like any minute. Like, we got to go. We definitely got to go. And in my mind, I'm thinking, thank God that's over. But I'm not going to let them. I'm channeling like Captain Kirk from like the new Star Trek. I'm like, oh, where you going, sweetheart? Where you going, sweetheart? You're done already? But I'm thinking like, and I know that they are leaving. But I also, if they came back, like, let's go. I would love a shot. If you can hear me, motherfucker, 1-on-1, like, let's go. Just me and you. Please do the right thing. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Do the right thing and come fight me.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah. Come get your
Without
medicine.
your boys.
Come take your medicine. And so that's what happened, that story. And I was pretty effed up, but like I did hold my own. And so this homeless guy comes up afterwards and he goes, I'm like, yeah, have you seen my hat? You know, or whatever. Yeah, no, it's my hat. It's a cool hat. It's gone. Someone stole it then. Have you seen my hat? He goes, that was the best fucking fight I've ever seen in my life. God damn, that was a good fucking fight. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah. So then here comes security. Oh, yo, what happened? You all right? Do we need to call an ambulance? I'm like, where were you, man? Where were you guys? Like,
we were watching with everybody else. It was the best fucking fight I ever seen.
Right? I was just fighting 3 guys, man. Like, they hit me with a bottle. Where were you guys? He's like, oh, we were dealing with something else inside. He's like, do you want me to call an ambulance? I'm like, no, I want to now, I'm going home, getting in a taxi. Because an ambulance, that would be like a whole, you don't want that. So I went home and there was this kid from the office. He didn't see it. He shows up immediately afterwards, this kid from the office, and he's like, bro, you all right? What happened? And I'm like, yo, yeah, dude, I just fucking like fought these like 3 dudes. And he starts getting real hype. Oh, man, I wish I was there. Oh, dude, let's go get him. And I'm like, no, man. But I'm feeling dramatic too. And I'm like, don't you tell anyone about this night. Don't you tell anyone about what happened here. Because I don't need my reputation in the office being, when the truth is, like, I want all of you motherfuckers to know I fucked up those 3 dudes, and I'll fuck you up too. So have some respect. That's what happened.
But you gotta like, don't tell anybody this. But they just see you the next day. You got a black eye. You got a cut on your thing. Your left hand was, I think, broken. Like, you had skin knuckles on. Like, you were like, you looked like you gave somebody a hard time, but you didn't get out unscathed. It was like, obviously you were in a fight.
No, I got beat up.
But to tell somebody, don't tell anybody. It's like, yeah, dude, your face is about to tell everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, and then there I go, walking into the office the next day, like, take the day off, Tone. Take some PTO, put some Neosporin on your face, ice it up, lay low. But, you know, it's funny. It's like the dynamic of this office was so weird. It just like had me pulled into this culture of like, it was weird, man. It was a weird culture, and there wasn't a lot of, no one was really keeping everyone in check. I don't know if that was supposed to be my job when I came in. But whatever authority I was placed in me, it wasn't made clear to me, and I wasn't putting people in check early on. I was like, oh, let me see what the deal is around here. And then the next thing I know, I'm like a little bitch on the totem pole. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
But that's just a quick, like...
And I don't use the B word for women. I don't condone that. I'm not like... I don't want to come across like I'm like a massage. Like I love women, and you know, I'm on your side. Truly, you can ask anyone.
As we all are.
Yeah, of course.
As we all are. We love them. They are. Yeah.
Today's Mother's Day.
Today is Mother's Day. Shout out to all of the women.
All the moms in our lives.
Man, all the moms in our lives. Like they do everything.
It's been said it's the hardest job.
Have you ever had like they deal with everything, and no one's really there for them, and they just have to keep going and swallow it, and then more shit comes up, and then they deal with more shit, and then they stay up until 4 a.m. wrapping presents for you and making sure that you wake up to a magical fucking birthday. And then they go to work at 8 a.m. It's like, I don't know how they do it. They have another, chromosome that makes them special.
Most of them, anyway.
Most of them, sure. No one's perfect. Yeah, there are shitty humans all over the place that are probably shitty as a result of like really bad experiences that they had. I mean,
life's hard.
You fought 3 of them shitty humans.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
They had to go back to their mom and tell, man, I just beat this guy up.
We just jumped this fucking dude.
Yep. Truly, dude. Like, I got my pops in. Like, they were all like, this is my ego talking, but I fucked them up too. I did. I fucked them up too.
I believe you.
I swear I did. I fucked them up. I don't know.
It seems like you did a little bit of hard work in your day. I mean, you got big hands.
I've done a lot of manual labor, man.
Yeah, it looks like it.
A lot of manual labor. Yeah. Yeah, for my dad my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm his child labor. I was, definitely. Yeah.
That's where you get some character.
Yeah.
That's the point of having kids, I thought, so you can make them do stuff.
That was, yeah, that was really the thing. Yeah. Is it okay if I go use the restroom?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
This is another episode of the Expresslane Podcast with
Kevin Stan and Anthony Handsome Ray.
Tony Ray.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Peace.